Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is literally life-changing. We live in this incredibly loud world, right? Everyone is just constantly shouting for attention. But we're going to explore some translated wisdom inspired by the legendary philosopher and poet Maulana Rumi that teaches us the exact opposite. We're going to break down 5 silent habits that actually lead to true, lasting success.
I want you to take a second and really think about this. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful people in the world are often the most silent? It's kind of a fascinating observation, isn't it? We're so wired to equate volume with power. But in reality, loud voices rarely equal true influence. When someone is just making a lot of noise, they might be raising their voice, but they definitely aren't changing their destiny. Okay, let's dive into this comparison. It's basically the illusion of noise versus the true power of silence. Rumi's teachings point out that noise, well, it just raises your voice. It changes absolutely nothing about your fundamental reality or your future. Silence, on the other hand, that is where you actually build inner strength. It's the active ingredient you need to truly change your destiny. To really grasp this, we need to talk about the concept of khamoshi, which translates to silence. But listen, this isn't just about a lack of words or keeping quiet because you've got nothing to say. Not at all. Khamoshi is this profound inner strength. It's literally the foundational building block for success. Maulana Rumi brilliantly said that you have to remain silent so that your very soul can speak. Think about it. If you're constantly making noise, your soul's voice is just completely drowned out. So, let's look at phase 1 of this inner growth, the sowing, building the foundation unseen. Think about a seed for a moment. Its absolute most vital, transformative development happens entirely underground, completely out of sight. You can't hear it growing, you can't see it growing, but there's this massive foundation being built. And that brings us to our very first daily habit. Work silently and let your results make the noise. When you're putting in that hard work, you really don't need to announce it to the whole world. Hard work itself doesn't have a sound. It's the result of that work that ultimately makes the noise. People are going to recognize you by the concrete results you produce, not by endless talking about what you're planning to achieve. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole idea. A seed falls into the earth in absolute silence. It doesn't demand an audience, it doesn't make a peep. But over time, through that silent, persistent growth, it becomes a massive tree that eventually provides shade to the entire world. Your silent work is exactly like that seed. Which takes us to the second habit. Pray silently to truly feel the Creator. Look, true spirituality and inner peace, they aren't meant to be shown off. This philosophy really highlights that you shouldn't parade your worship in front of people, because the divine isn't meant to be shown, it's meant to be felt. Rumi teaches that only the Creator of the soul can bring true peace to the soul, and that connection happens in quiet intimacy, not through some public exhibition. Let's move to stage 2 and see how this builds. The nourishing, expanding roots through action. So how do we actually engage with the outside world while keeping our inner khamoshi intact? That brings us to habit number 3. Give charity and help others silently. When you step up to fulfill someone's need or protect their dignity, you got to do it quietly. It's absolutely crucial to remember that the moment a good deed makes noise, it's no longer charity. It's just an exhibition. The teachings really emphasize that a true good deed is one that only the divine knows about. It's all about protecting the recipient's dignity way above your own ego. Now, habit 4 is honestly probably one of the most challenging ones. Improve yourself silently instead of trying to change people. I mean, it is just so easy to look at the outside world and loudly complain about what everyone else is doing wrong, right? But true, nourishing growth comes from focusing inward. Don't try to force the outside world to change. Do the silent, behind-the-scenes work of changing yourself. This leads us perfectly to this incredibly profound realization from Rumi. He said, "Yesterday, I was clever. I wanted to change the world. Today, I am wise. I am changing myself." Take a deliberate pause here. Just let that wisdom sink in. Honestly, this should be a daily reflection for every single one of us. True wisdom is realizing the only thing you have absolute control over is your own inner growth. Moving right along to stage 3, the pruning, enduring the storms. Just like trees have to weather those harsh winter storms, the high winds, the freezing temps, we are going to face profound pain as we navigate life, and we have to learn how to handle it gracefully. This brings us to the 5th and final habit. Endure pain silently without broadcasting every sorrow. When you hit a rough patch, resist that immediate urge to just vent and complain to everyone around you. Why? Well, because not everyone has the capacity to hear your sorrow, and they certainly don't all have the capacity to understand it. Broadcasting your pain just scatters your energy. Enduring it silently, that concentrates your strength. Now, what's really interesting here is how Rumi completely reframes our relationship with pain. He says the wound is the place where the light enters you. By enduring our hardships in silence, we aren't just suffering, we're actually opening ourselves up. The pain literally becomes the entry point for enlightenment and deeper understanding. It's an absolutely necessary part of our silent growth.
And finally, the last stage, the canopy. Silence as true strength.
Just as a fully grown tree finally casts this wide, protective shadow for others, your silent habits eventually manifest as immense protective strength in the real world. So the crucial point is how we actually apply this. To transform all this wisdom into something tangible, you need to make these 5 practices your actionable daily routine. 1. Work unseen. 2. Pray inwardly. 3. Give without exhibition. 4. Change yourself first. And 5. Endure pain as a lesson. I highly recommend you start practicing these silent habits daily. Try creating a weekly progress journal so you can actually measure your personal growth outcomes against this list. Every single day, practice these habits, and at the end of the week, write down how your inner growth, your silent tree, is developing. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this incredibly poignant thought directly from the source material. Those who win in the noise break from inside, but those who build themselves in silence become an example for the world. Silence is never a weakness, guys. It is the ultimate strength. People who rely on the noise of the world are fragile, but those who are forged in silence, they become unbreakable examples. So I'll leave you with this one final provocative question. Will you plant your seed of silence today? Really think about that daily routine. Think about starting your weekly progress journal, and consider beginning your own silent journey right now. If the wisdom in this explainer touched your heart, let us know by commenting the word Kamoshi down below. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will see you